Rifle's fitted with a safety catch on the left hand side, safety at the rear, forward for fire. Okay, then we'll go on a little bit about the rifle, and we'll start off with the magazines, which are pretty good actually. I think they're all colour coded. 177's in blue. They are all marked with the shot number on. Can't see it too clearly on there, I don't think, but it's also got a white paint dot there to show you when it's gone right the way around. So basically all we do to load this, yeah, you get your pellet, should be the first one in. So turn it around, next one in. It holds in place when it is in, so once the first one's in it holds itself. Three. It's a 10 shot magazine. The BSA R10s come in 3 different calibers. You've got the 177, 22 and 25, and sub 12 foot-pounds, and they also come in FAC variants. And I think the 177s you'll probably find around 18 foot-pounds, 22 will be around 30, and the 25 probably about 35 foot-pounds. As you can see, they're fairly straightforward to load. When you come to the last one, it stops. And then looking on that side, it says 10 shots. It pushes into the rifle from the left hand side. So it'll go in the rifle like that, and on this side you'll see a bit of a depression, and on the rifle it's got a locking mechanism. You pull forward and I believe it locates in there so it can't come out. It's also got like a little nipple on the end, just there. That also locates into the rifle. So that's a loaded magazine. I won't put that in the rifle, but I will show you how the rifle's loaded with an empty magazine. Okay then, with an unloaded magazine, we'll load the rifle. Rifle is now set to safe. So it slides in from the left, and just there, got the locking catch. And that stops it coming out. You can socket the bolt forward, safety catch off, ready to fire. As you can see, we've now got the view from the other side. Magazine goes in. You can see the nipple located through there. Slide the catch forward. Locked in place, bolt forward, ready to fire. Once you unload it, you basically pull your bolt back, take the catch off, remove the magazine. As you can see on the underside of the rifle, it's fitted with a manometer, so you can see what the fill pressure is. And just in front of the manometer, you've got a hole for the fill probe, and it's also got a fill probe plug. The only downside to the design on this is when you fit in a bipod, it can come in the way of that hole. So seeing what John Kemp's done on this is basically cut a section out of the bipod so you don't have any problems. But when you fill it up to a 230 bar, you just put the fill probe back in and it's ready to roll. Now, the BSA R10s, they came out about 10 years ago. They replaced the BSA Super 10s, and it's quite a big move up when they did come out, because they then came out with a regulated version, and since then the Mark II, it's had improvements on the regulator and internals. They've now come out with a thumbhole stock to mark the 10th anniversary, which has also got a longer air cylinder to give you more shots. The rifle comes with an adjustable butt pad at the back there for up and down. The rifles are left or right-handers. This one's a right-hander. Was fully shrouded when he first got it, but he took it over to Phil Crampton of the Ratworks, and he had the shroud cut down to the length of the barrel, so it's not a working shroud. So although it looks like it's shrouded for the silence or whatever, it's not. So I actually bought a BSA VC silencer for it, and it works really well. When it got to the Ratworks, as well as cutting the silencer down, Phil Crampton fitted it with a tench regulator, and he also shortened the hammer stroke on it, so it gives you a faster lock time. The triggers on these are matched triggers. I mean, the first time I fired a BSA R10 I was impressed by the trigger, but as well as doing the shroud, the regulator, Phil also polishes up the triggers to make it even better than it already is. This one's got the custom Ratworks bolt on it, just to let people know it's been Ratworked on, and it's also got the logo of the Ratworks on it there that's been etched into the metal. So all in all, very nice rifle. The scope on this, I'd already got one, so I thought, well, might as well go all BSA. Well, this is a BSA Quarry Kin. This is 6x24 magnification by 56 optical lens at the front. It's a side focus scope, and it's illuminated. I got this one from Optics Warehouse for about £80 at the time, so really good value. All the things that you see on the rifle, it's got the BSA logo on the butt, right at the back, just down there. You can see it. Also, what all manufacturers should do, it's also fitted with QD studs front and rear, so you can mount your bipods and fit slings. Adjustments to the trigger are made underneath through the actual trigger guard. But yeah, all in all, very nice rifle to shoot. So you'll now see what I've been doing for the last 2 days, based on doing basic accuracy tests and chronograph tests. It's been the weather's just been too bad to get down to the range, so I've been doing it at home. So I've not really been down the range in a couple of weeks because it's been too wet, too windy. So that is the BSA R10 Mk2 tuned by Phil Crampton of the Ratworks. So we'll show you the testing I've been doing. can see the results for the standard rifle. The one I've got now has had the shroud cut down to the same size as the barrel. It's got a shortened hammer stroke, and it's got a tense regulator fitted. I've fitted it with a BSA VC moderator, which does a good job, as you'll hear. Okay then, I've got the Ratworks tune BSA R10 that used to belong to John Kemp. Just testing 5 different pellets out at 26 yards. First one I'll be testing out will be the heavy ones, which are the Barracuda match, and they weigh 10.65 grains. Go for the centre target. Okay, 10 shots there, taken quite fast actually, but not a bad group. The red centre is about 2/3 the size of a 5p, so the whole group there is under a 5p. So that's the H&N Barracuda match, which are the same as the Busy Magnums. Next one up will be the Quanyon Sports domed pellets. These will probably shoot a bit higher than the last lot. We'll see. I'll shoot at the bottom left target. A flyer. Well, as you can see, 7 out of 10 more or less went through the same hole, just probably about 1/8 of an inch across. The yellow circle, that's the size of a 10p piece, so that's a Quanyon Sports. Could have been a bit of out of shape pellet there. Right, next one up, it's an older one here, it's a Daystate 177 Select. These weigh 8.44 grains, and I would imagine this very similar to the latest Daystate Rangemaster Sovereigns, but we'll see how they do. Go for the bottom right. That's right. That's it all gone. Right, a lot of that was me, but if you look at the main groups, they're all pretty consistent. They're going through a very small diameter. Okay, the next one will be a budget pellet, and that is the RWS Superdomes. So if these work in here, it's a good alternative if you want to, if you're on a budget. Like I say, these are Superdomes. Superfields I think can do better, but we'll see. So I'm going to go for top right. Same all. So there we go, did really well. Nice ragged hole at 26 yards. Right, I've used the match. I'm going to go now for the German pellets, the Kaisers, which are designed for day state. These would be a bit like the H&N field target trophies. We'll see how these do. These are the Kaisers. Same all again. And again. Okay, you'll see two groups there. Now the wind is blowing to the left. I think that's what's creating that. So that's 5 different pellets. And if you look at the main groups, they're all pretty tight. So I'll bring the target back up and we can assess it. Okay then, as you can see from the initial test results, all the pellets did quite well. 3 of them in particular. The RWS Superdomes, I was really surprised at that because they're pretty tight fitted on occasions through the barrel. And as you can see, the pellets coming up, the graph coming up now, you can see the 5p piece fits over all of them. But the RWS Superdome was pretty tight, and so was the H&N Barracuda Match. The Quanyon Sports also would have been a really tight group if it hadn't been for that flyer. And 1 or 2 that didn't more or less hit the mark. Strange result was from the Day State Kaisers, where we had 2 groups going on there, but they're still fitted within a 5p piece. But I had a few ideas on other pellets, but I couldn't find them on the first day. So I had a look, and on day 2 I actually came up with the ones I found. And the main one on that was the Day State field target pellets, because they always do well through my barrels. And I also thought I'd try out the RWS Superdomes. So I did another 10 shots at 26 yards, and this is what it came up with. 2 pellets touching on the first 2 shots. And it more or less was pretty consistent like that. And I usually find this with most of the rifles I've got, they're very good pellets to use. You can see the 5p piece at the side of it for comparisons. It certainly shoots better than I can shoot it. But no real worries on any of the pellets really, they all group work very well. So the barrel's not pellet fussy. When I fired the super fields, you can see it was bang on 0 right in the ball for these. couple of them opened it up a bit, but as regards grouping, it's still very tight, and these fit better than the Super Dames did. Final pellet on test was the Daystate Rangemaster Sovereigns at 8.44 grains. And same again, very good result on these. A nice pellet to use, and consistency is pretty good. As you can see, most of these pellets are touching each other. You'll get one or two that open it up a bit, but having said that, another good group. So the next thing after the pellet testing will be the chronograph test, but as you can see from this final view, all three pellets did really well. Daystate field target at 10.25 grains, the RWS Super Dames at 8.44 grains, and the Daystate Rangemaster at 8.44 grains. Now I came to doing the chronograph testing, and we'll see if that made any difference. As far as the accuracy goes, it was pretty consistent across the board, so we'll see if the chronograph results match. And as you can see, there are some differences. I did expect the heavier 10.65 grain Barracuda match to be higher on the power than the most of them, but as you can see, the average on this was 10.89 foot-pounds with a high of 11.3. An extreme spread there of 12 feet per second and a standard deviation of 3.1, which is pretty good. If you look at the deviations, that's what you should be looking at, because you'll always get a fly, as you can see on the Daystate Selects. On shot number 6, it was only 559 feet per second. So if you discount that, the groups really do tighten up, and I think it was an 8 feet spread and a good consistency as well on the deviation. Also, the Quanyon Sports pellets didn't do too bad. If you can look at the power on them, the average was higher than the Barracuda match, so was the Daystate Select. And finally the Super Dames, that was quite a big spread on that, but some of the pellets was hard to fit the barrel. Moving on to the next group, we've got the Kaisers, which are very similar to the H&N Field Target Trophies. The extreme spread on that was 16 feet per second. The standard deviation again was only 3.9. You do get some flyers, you know, that shoot higher or lower than they should, and that's what upsets the apple cart. The ones that I expected to do well did do well, and that was the Daystate Field Target Heavies at 10.25 grains at an extreme spread of 6 feet per second, a standard deviation of 1.83, which is brilliant. The Super Fields did quite well, but it had quite a big extreme spread, even though it was only 3.9 on the standard deviation. And finally, the Daystate Rangemaster Sovereign didn't do too bad. A bit lower on the average power because of the weight. 11 feet per second extreme spread with a standard deviation of 3.3. The next test will be done in the field at longer ranges.